Welcome to my Sticky Note Quickie episode from this week's Blender Business Show. I'm your host, Producer Jaime. This week, our episodes are brought to you by Flintstone Media, and we'll get to my sticky note in just a moment. But first, here's our clip of the week, pulled from our full episode titled The Power of Organic Branding. So when people approach you to illustrate a book, have you heard a lot of them make mention that they've seen your animations and that's what made them interested? Like, have you seen directly that relationship go?
Yeah. It's like, I would say, if I was going to give it a percentage, I want to say like maybe 40 to 50% of the time, it's someone, it usually starts with, the conversation starts with animation. It always starts with animation. It's like, hey, I've seen your animation work, or I have a story that I've written, I would love to have it animated, and then I'll get you no, and then they come back, well, can we illustrate it as a book? And I'm like, boom, there you go.
There you go. Now you're asking the right question.
Yeah, now we're talking.
So welcome to my Sticky Note Quickie for this week's Blender Business Show. First, I want to highlight one of my favorite messages from that conversation with Jafla. Never, ever, ever let your circumstances become boundaries to your vision. This man has been making magic happen with few resources, but abundant imagination and creativity. So we can all take away something from his example. But I want to now focus back on branding. So what does it mean to create a brand that fuels your business? And how do you put your own stamp on it to personalize that brand? In creating your branding initially, you want to first think of the purpose of your brand. Number one, what value does it bring to others? Number two, who's your target audience? Circle back to episode 4 for more on defining and finding your target audience. Number 3, what kind of tone are you trying to convey? And number 4, well, there is a fourth element, and I'll get to it here in just a minute. But stopping with those first 3 for now, you want to think of what name, bylines, and sayings evoke the value, connect with your target audience, and set the right tone for them. And your brand also needs to have a style to it. That would include your brand's colors, fonts, and logo design. What emotions do you want your brand to evoke? Who do you want your brand to really, truly resonate with? As a resource for you to help build or tweak your own brand, I have found a super thorough guide from Adobe for Business, which I'll link to in the show notes for you. And last but not least, you want to create some sort of motto that your brand can live by. For example, the motto for the Blender Business Show and community is where business and media mix. Now, I thought of this during my initial planning and brainstorming sessions in the pre-launch phase of Blender, but that's just one way to find your motto. You can also just be on the lookout for what develops organically over time with your brand, business, and the content that you're creating. As an example, Jafla has crafted the motto and mantra of his brand very organically. First, he's taken a concept that he truly feels at his core. Living truly real. Keeping it 100. He took that core part of his essence and how he carries himself through life and through his art, smashed those words together, and came up with not only that first motto, keeping it real, but also flipped it into the name of his company, Exhibit Trill Studios. Now, people may not off the bat know what that means because it's a made-up word. But once you know, you can't forget it. Trill. Secondly, as he started seeing successes come his way, acknowledgement from friends, family, and others, as the audience for his animated shorts started to grow, as he got featured in film festivals, and of course, as the award nominations and wins started rolling in, as all of this was coming along, Jason came up with a mantra. He would say on his social media post, "My pencil different." And he repeated it over and over and over again on almost every single post until the association to himself was secure. Now, as a fan of his, when I see a new post about his latest win, that's the first thing that pops into my head. His pencil different. Now, remember when I was listing the elements of the purpose of your brand and I said there was a fourth one? That fourth element of the purpose of your brand that you want to think through in initially creating your branding is, who are you? The person behind the brand. The first place some people start is by creating an industry moniker for themselves. As one example, an associate and frequent guest of one of my clients in the property management space, a show called Straight Up Chicago Investor, is a guy who is known as Cost Seg Kev. As soon as anyone in the property investment field hears his nickname, Cost Seg Kev, they immediately associate it with knowledge and expertise in maximizing tax savings through cost segregation. He even named his website costsegkev.com. Now, if you're scratching your head wondering what the heck cost segregation even is, no worries. What's important is the immediate, positive, strong, and authority-creating impression his Cost Seg Kev moniker makes on his industry contacts and potential clients. As another example, a few years ago, I started going by Producer Jaime, because that's what I am. I'm an award-winning host and producer, and I want to lead with that impression, and that it's been earned. And another aspect of bringing yourself into the brand is bringing yourself from behind the camera and into the forefront. But as you heard in my conversation with Jason, showing up on camera for your brand or business, or even just in general, can oftentimes be quite nerve-wracking. So, sometimes that is most comfortably achieved as a first swing by doing it in partnership with someone else as a way to sort of spread that spotlight out. That can be through having a co-host or by doing videos where you introduce someone else, only capturing yourself for the first few moments of your video. And for a bunch more tips on how to overcome being camera shy, I found a really helpful article from Hippo Video called How to Become Comfortable Recording Video. And of course, I've linked it in the show notes for you. And in talking about spreading the spotlight around, with this personally favorite clip of mine from my conversation with Jafla, I'm excited that my own brand will be expanding, if only just a little bit and maybe only once, into the realm of voiceover acting. Let's hear that one more time.
I look forward to season 3 when you have your role in Peanut Heads Black History Month. I don't know if I was supposed to say that on here, but I said what I said. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. And of course, I have links in the show notes for you to all of Jafla's stuff, so you can see what he's already accomplished with Exhibit Trail Studios and Trail Tunes Animations. Now, once you've established your brand, if you need some help protecting it, I advise you to see the consultation of a copyright and trademark attorney. I know a great one. His name is Gordon Firemark. He was a guest on one of my former shows, Podcasting a Brand, on episode 77. So I'll go ahead and also put the link to that episode in the show notes for you. And I hope that this episode has inspired you, whether through some initial intentional brainstorming or through some time and organic development. It inspires you to focus on building yourself a strong brand. This week, our episodes were brought to you by Flintstone Media. Be sure to catch the full episode with my entire guest conversation on the main show feed. Just look up Blender Business Show on your favorite podcast player. And if you are a business owner, marketing manager, or content creator, join in the conversation with other Blender members on our Slack channel, which you can find the link for, along with everything else, at blenderbizshow.com. We are the Blender community, where business and media mix.